Well, it's safe to say that was a bit disappointing. Well, I've just not long been home, got myself a tea to warm up after another miserable cold night in St James's Park, unfortunately, where we've seen Newcastle United come away from the first leg of the semi-final with a 2-0 defeat to Manchester City. Now, I mean, I think most of us fans did know it was going to be a bit of a mountain to climb, regardless, I mean, of whether we were at home first or went away at Man City and had the home tie in the second leg. It was always going to be a mountain to climb, especially with the injuries that we have with the squad at the moment. But I think a lot of fans might say that wasn't the team that they wanted. Obviously, I know Eddie Howe had to rest some players because I think a few players did play 120 minutes in the weekend in the FA Cup against Bournemouth. But yeah, where to start, I suppose. Well, I'll cover the game in general. Like, I think in the first half, both teams were very well organised. We kept Man City quiet. Well, I just keep them at bay. Like, I would probably say that we had the better of the chances going forward against Man City, but we just didn't seem to have anything up front today, and we just couldn't put the ball in the net. And then it wasn't until the second half where things started okay, but then you could see the fatigue of the squad was starting to set in. Jacob Ramsey did go off with a head injury, and while he was off getting treatment, Man City were able to capitalise on the fact that they had an extra man, got the first goal. Obviously, controversially with like Anton Semenyo, who had this game had it been played a few seasons back, would have been cup tied, wouldn't have been eligible to play in this game, but then he gets his first goal in the League Cup for Manchester City. And then, yeah, I think from there, it just... I mean, Eddie Howe tried to make some changes, but it just didn't seem to work. Obviously, Jacob Murphy having to come off because it looks like his thigh or his hamstring that he's been having an issue with. Like, obviously, I think he's came off as a precaution, but yeah, obviously, Anthony Elanga came on and he didn't really have the best games either. And yeah, even still, just even though I would have said we looked okay defensively, we looked okay in the midfield. Like, it's up front, which didn't seem to have anything going for it. I mean, I know sometimes you've got to make your own luck, and probably were a bit unlucky, but we just didn't seem to get anywhere near to finishing those chances there. Manchester City again just broke it down. Semenyo scored again, but after taking 6 minutes, I'm not seeing the replay, and I'm not sure how it takes 6 minutes to decide if a player's offside or not. But anyways, he nearly got a second goal for Manchester City, and then, well, literally due to that 6 minutes and obviously all the changes and injuries, we had 9 minutes added time, and City scored right in the death again and ended up taking a 2-0 win for their home leg. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute solid game. We've got a solid groups of fixtures at the moment. I think we're going to be in for a rough few weeks, to be fair, unfortunately. But going through the team, I'll start with Nick Pope. Nick Pope, you know what? I thought there's much more he could have done with the goals. Maybe the last goal, I feel like it was a well-worked goal from Man City, but overall, I think he had an okay game. His distribution tonight was probably... He made one real miss kick at the end, which probably led to Man City's goal. But other than that, his distribution was, by Nick Pope levels, fantastic tonight. So I'll give him some positives there. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Lewis Miley, again, a few misplaced passes, but literally the fact that he's playing out of position he was for most of the game. Obviously, he did find himself in centre midfield towards the end of the game. Yeah, absolutely solid game. Again, I'm going to give him like 6.5. Malik Chow, again, wasn't really standing out the way he has in the earlier parts of the season. So we'll give him a 6. Sven Botman, it really is a shame about Sven Botman because he's not the player that he was a couple of years ago. And yes, he signed a new 5-year contract. And the only positive I'm getting from that, because I don't think he's the player that he once was, is that if we sell him now, at least we'll not be selling him for as cheap as we could have been selling him. Like, So, is it time to cash in on Sven Botman? Have the injuries caught up with him? Is he the player that he once was? I'll leave that debate in the comment section below, but I'm really not confident with what I've seen, unfortunately. Lewis Hall, again. Lewis Hall at the minute is probably our best dribbler with the ball, and he's well left back. Like, generally, if he had a more supportive winger, instead of Anthony Gordon ahead of him, who's a bit, if I'm honest, is quite a lazy winger, I would see what he could do getting down the wing. But while we've got Anthony Gordon, well, the style of play that will play on Eddie Howe, I don't know if we're ever going to see the best of Lewis Hall in this team anyway. But yeah, he was taking players on. He was playing some good passes. I just wish that were a better team for Lewis Hall, because Lewis Hall, I think, again, it's known between Bruno and somebody else, and tonight for man of the match is between Bruno and Lewis Hall. But I'm going to give Lewis Hall a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe it could be an 8, but we'll go with a 7.5. You know what? Joe Linton was getting himself about, got himself booked. Like, he was getting about Man City. Like, he was breaking play down. Like, was doing his job quite well. Just, again, nothing was happening for going forward. So I'll give him a 7. Bruno, again, just passion and energy, probably the heartbeat of the team at the moment. Probably since Malik Chow's form's dropped, I think probably has been one player of the season now. Again, I'm going to give him the same rating as Lewis Hall. I'll let you decide between who you think is the man of the match, but for me it is between Hall and Bruno. And positives, you know what, Jacob Ramsey, I like Jacob Ramsey. And the more I see of him, the more I'm impressed. I think he's a really good player. I don't think we're getting the best out of him yet. I don't know if that's just because he's just trying to learn Eddie Howe's system, or just it's the way we, so it's the way we play, but that's the same thing, isn't it? But yeah, maybe he just needs a bit more time and just get used to the team. But I think he's a real player, and I think he could be one that will get the best out of. I don't know when, but time will tell. Starting off up front, yeah, Anthony Gordon, he makes good runs, but there's no end product. Like, he always runs into danger and loses the ball. Like, it's just, he's an owner. I think we just need a couple of losses off while we can make a massive profit off. Like, just we're not seeing the same Anthony Gordon. I don't know what it is, but he's just not the same player he was from seasons gone by. Johan Wissa, tonight looked like he was born offside. Like, just could hardly make the right run. Even when he was through on goal, he didn't seem like he could hit a barn door. Don't just say it just wasn't his night. Maybe it's the fatigue, the fact that he's come back from an injury and he hasn't had a pre-season, and yeah, just tonight was not Johan Wissa's night. Jacob Murphy, before he went off, did play some pretty impressive through balls, but Johan Wissa was offside for most of them and just didn't seem like he was able to finish them tonight. It was just a bit unfortunate. Now, something like he could be another player that's on the injury list. Looks like his thigh or his hamstring, whatever the issue has been plaguing him, is now back again. Obviously, he came off as a precaution, so we'll go with subs. Kieran Trippier came on for, I think it was for Bruno, I think, towards the end of the game. Did alright, wasn't really much you could do, but to be fair, you'd see, he's still a good player, Kieran Trippier, but he's definitely lost a few yards of place, which I think helped contribute to City's second goal. Sanders Gnarly, I think, looks solid. Like, he came on for Ramsey, looked solid when he came on. Harvey Barnes always looks an attacking threat when he comes on. It's a shame that he didn't start the game for me. And Alanga really was just a passenger. Yeah. Just a bit of a sorry state of affairs, that game. I mean, trip the Wolves on Sunday. If we don't get 3 points, it's really not good. It's really not good. Like, I know there's been times this season where people have been questioning Eddie Howe, but I think there'll be a lot of people who defended Eddie Howe quite staunchly who will be asking questions if we don't walk away from Molineux with 3 points. And then, well, straight from Wolves into the Champions League. We've got PSV a week tomorrow. Oh, that's the start of our hard run of games. So we've got a mountain to climb in the second leg against Man City. And we've got some massive teams to play in the next few weeks. I think like Villa, Liverpool, City, PSG, PSV. We've got a few hard games. I think we're gonna have if we can get if we get 9 points from some of those league games, I'm going to be quite content. So hopefully that's not too much negativity for the evening. I've been Callum. This has been NUSC 360, and God help us in our next run of games. All the best.